Boys, in the previous session, as I told you that we will continue from this slide, the modern methods of irrigation. Which are the modern methods of irrigation? And you know what is irrigation? The provision of water. Water is being provided to the crops. But how the water is provided to the crops? Which are the sources of water? Okay, let's see the modern methods of irrigation. In that, crops grow well when they are watered. This is an example. Nowadays it is rainy season, and you can see even the plants which are there in your house, in the gallery, even if you are not watering it, they will grow well, and it will be proper in green in color. The reason is they are getting natural water. So when they are watered, plants grow well. So from where this crops is getting water? From the rivers, from the lakes, from wells, and from the rain water. Now look here, if you have seen this picture or if you are watching the news, you can easily identify what is this. This is a dam. So water is also collected in the dams, and later on this collected water is used for irrigation and even for drinking purpose. So greater quantities of water is stored by building the dams. And again you can see here, this picture is about another source of water where water gets collected. This is a bund. This is known as bunds. You can see this border of a wall which is there. So here you can see the water is being collected in the dams and in the bunds, and there are different sources of water from where the crops are using that water for the growth, that is for irrigation. Here, this is the old method. You know this, what is this? Here, this side are all crops which are grown on both the sides, and in between this is a canal. So traditionally in the ancient times, or we can say with the old techniques, crops were traditionally watered through canals. So this is a canal. Now what happens when the water is being collected in the canals? Because of the heat of the sun, what will happen to this water? Because of the heat of the sun, the water gets evaporated. It slowly it is converted into steam. That means what? The water is becoming less and it is converted into water vapor. And some of the water which is there in the canals, it is also absorbed by the soil, or we can say absorbed by the ground. It is absorbed into the ground. So some water is turned into water vapor, some water is absorbed into the ground. And that's why this canal water was not sufficient for the crops. Okay, so this is the age old technique, we can say, or traditional technique, that the crops were watered through canals. Now let us see the modern techniques. Which are the modern techniques? You saw now, dams were built, bunds were built, and the crops are watered through canals, and we know the different sources of water. But now which are the another techniques, new techniques which are used for irrigation? So let us see this one, drip irrigation method. Now what do you mean by drip irrigation method? Can you see here the crops, and beside the crops you can see the pipe. This white color is a long pipe which is going through the crops. Okay, and you can see these curls. These are all small pipes. Now through these pipes, actually what is there in this pipe? You can see here this black color pipe also which is going simultaneously. Yes, this pipes which are there, they are providing water to the crops. So what is happening? There is no wastage of water. Through this pipe, through this small pipes, the water directly reaches the crops. There is no waste of water, and the water is not wasted into the soil. It directly reaches the crops. This is known as drip irrigation. That means slowly, drip by drip, or we can say drop by drop, these crops are getting water. So this is one of the modern method of irrigation, that is known as drip irrigation. In this way, we are even saving water. So, what do you mean by drip irrigation? Pipe with holes. There are pipe with holes. The required amount of water drips only near the plants, and this is known as drip irrigation method. Now, see the second method. Here you can see this is also a very useful method. You can see the crops over here down, and again this is one single pipe, but this single pipe is connected to the sprinkler. These are the sprinklers. What do you mean by sprinklers? They sprinkle water like a fountain. Yes. So here these are sprinkler. They will rotate into a circular manner. Okay, in a circular motion they will rotate, and they will sprinkle the water all over to the crops. In this way, what will happen? The wastage of water will be avoided. There will be no wastage of water because of sprinkler irrigation. Because in a small quantity, very small quantity of water is required when it sprinkles. Okay, it is like the way the rainwater falls down on the ground. Okay, in the form of rain, you know, the rainwater will come. Similarly, the sprinkle will work. So this is a second method of irrigation, which is a modern method. It is known as sprinkler irrigation. With the help of sprinklers, water is being provided to the crops. It makes use of sprinklers of different sizes. These sprinklers can be of various sizes that spray water directly. So what we saw the drip irrigation method, and we saw the sprinkle irrigation method. Now look here, as I told you, fertilizers. In the previous session, I told you fertilizers are used for the crops. You know why these fertilizers are sprayed into the soil? See, when you are growing any crop and then you remove that, again you grow, again you remove that, what happens to that soil? It loses the nutrition. Means it loses the fertility of the soil. And if you want that fertility back, if you want to retain the fertility back, if you want to retain the nutrients back to the soil, then fertilizers are used. But let me tell you boys, when fertilizers are used, they are providing nutrition, of course. But if you are using these fertilizers more than the required proportion, then it may damage the soil and even the crops. Okay, so why fertilizers are used? If the same crops are grown, then the fertility of the soil decreases. Fertilizers provide nutrition to the soil, or we can say nutritive substance to the crop. Why? Because it restores fertility. Now, these fertilizers are of two types. Which are the two types of fertilizers? Natural fertilizers and chemical fertilizers. Again, I'll repeat, fertilizers, what happens with the help of fertilizers? It gives nutrition back to the soil. Which are the two types of fertilizers? Natural fertilizers and chemical fertilizers. Now, let us see about natural fertilizers first. Okay, afterwards we will see chemical one. Natural fertilizers are called manures. Please remember this. The natural fertilizers which are there, which are given to the soil, are called manures. They are obtained from, now how you make natural fertilizers, how you are getting the natural fertilizer. Yes, can you see something on the screen? Yeah, these pictures. Animal dung. Do you know animal dung? The waste of animal. It can be cow, buffalo, goat. The waste of animal. This is the dung. We make dung cakes also. And out of this dung, we can say the waste of animals which are there, we are preparing natural fertilizers. That means this waste which is there of animal dung is very nutritive substance to the soil, which will help the crops to grow. So how is the natural fertilizers prepared? This is because with the help of animal dung. Second thing, nowadays, if you know that the BMC, the people who come to collect the garbage, they say, please separate the wet garbage and the dry garbage. Your separation is always there. There are two dustbins which are kept, one for wet garbage and one for dry garbage. What goes into the wet garbage? Wet garbage means all the, we can say the waste which is there in the kitchen, the peels of the fruits. You peel the fruits, okay? You peel the banana, you even peel the carrots, you radish, then the peel of the garlic, the peels of the onion, okay? Then when mama will use a spinach or a methi leaves, that time also the waste which is there, she will cut that, okay? Coriander leaves, she will cut that. So all these waste which are there, it is known as green waste, which is being used in the kitchen. We are using all these vegetables and fruits in the kitchen. The waste which is there of it is known as green waste. This green waste is very useful for the nutrition of the soil. So how are natural fertilizers made? They are made with the help of animal dung and green waste. They are obtained from these two materials, animal dung and green waste. So you know now what are natural fertilizers. And of course, you should always go for natural fertilizers because it will not harm the soil. Now let's go ahead. Chemical fertilizers. Now these chemical fertilizers are also known as artificial fertilizers. What are they known as? Artificial fertilizers. So chemical or artificial fertilizers, they are also used for the soil, but they are very almost harmful as compared to natural. Now what it combines with? It is a mixture of different chemical substances in a specific proportion. What do you mean by specific proportion? You cannot take any particular amount. Example, if you want to make a cake, if you want to bake a cake. Now, if you are taking everything in proportion, then the cake will come out well, otherwise gone. Okay. Same thing over here. When for chemical fertilizers are used or artificial fertilizers are used, then the mixture which is there of the chemical, it should be in a proper proportion, specific proportion. Otherwise, it will damage the crops. So, chemical fertilizers. Now, in traditional agriculture, that means when we are using a natural fertilizers, in traditional agriculture, organic manures, which are the organic manures, such as compost were used. What is the organic manure here? Compost. And I told you how is the compost made. See, they collect all this waste. This is a wet garbage. Can you see the carrot and the peel of the cabbage and everything? Yeah, this is a compost. Okay. So what they do, they collect this. Okay. Then they collect it in one, we can say in one ditch, or they make a ditch for it. They mix it with the soil, all this waste which is there, and later on even the flowers which are there, when you are offering it to God, okay, later on, now this is Ganesh festival, and in this festival you offer flowers to God. Then what you are supposed to do, don't throw it, collect it. It is actually a good manure for the soil. So these flowers which are there, which are already offered, okay, they collect it, and then a compost pit is made, and in that compost pit, everything, this is dumped, okay? And after few days, with all the processes, you will get this type of soil, which is rich in nutrition. You can see here the soil which is rich in nutrition. This is known as actually compost. This is being given to the crops. So in traditional agriculture, organic manures such as compost were used. For quicker growth, if you want your crops to grow very easily and very quickly and in a tremendous amount, that means higher yield. What do you mean by higher yield? With a good production, okay, in a good quantity. So for quicker growth and higher yield, chemical fertilizers were used. If you want a quicker growth, if you want a growth in the crops very quickly, and example here also I'll tell you, you know, natural fertilizers and chemical fertilizers. Similarly, example, when you're not well, okay, and when you go to the doctor, if you go to a homeopathic doctor or an ayurvedic doctor, if he gives you medicine, it will take time to heal, maybe one whole week for you to recover, okay? But if you are taking allopathic medicines, within one day you'll be okay, or within 2 days you'll be okay, okay, with allopathy. Same thing is here. When you are using natural fertilizers for the soil, crop production will be there, okay, it is very good, but that crop production will not be much. When you are using chemical fertilizers, what will happen? Growth will be more, crop production will be more, you will get a higher yield. That is the difference between natural and chemical fertilizers. Yeah, I just wanted to show you this, what exactly happens when you are using organic fertilizers, that is natural fertilizers, and when you are using chemical fertilizers. Boys, look at this diagram very carefully. Can you see here organic fertilizers? This is the soil, okay, this is the soil. Now the above the soil is this is your plant. Plant, when it gets organic fertilizers or natural fertilizers, what happens? Look here, this organic fertilizer is being mixed with the soil, okay, it is mixed with the soil. Now this soil is getting nutrition, soil nutrients are there, okay. Then this soil nutrients are being provided with the help of microorganisms. Microorganisms also act into the soil, and the plant nutrition, that means the plant nutrients which are there into the soil, plant nutrients, and in turn this plant nutrients are provided to the plants, and there is a proper growth. So you saw the cycle, organic fertilizers mixed with the organic matter into the soil, which will give you nutrients into the soil, and this nutrients will be provided to the plants. Very good technique, okay, good quality, but production will not be much. Now look here, this one, chemical fertilizers. Now when chemical fertilizers are mixed into the soil, what exactly is happening? See, it is directly giving nutrition to the plant straight away. It is not going down like the soil nutrition. That means the soil is not getting anything over here. Straight away the chemical fertilizers are mixed into the soil, and the plant nutrition is being provided to the plant. So what is happening? It is not going down. It is not reaching here down. It is straight away going towards the plant, which will give you a higher production of crops. But excessive use of chemicals will damage the fertility of the soil. See here, what happens when you are using excess of fertilizers? It lowers the fertility of the soil. The fertility of the soil will be lowered. That means it will reduce. Okay. It also reduces the productivity. If you are using more of chemical fertilizers, what will happen to the production of the crops? Production means what? Growth of crops. It will reduce. So what? Two things very destructive. Lowers the fertility of the soil and reduces its productivity. Remember, I'll ask you at the end of the session. What will happen now when you are using water? Of course, water is needed for the crops, but more of water, more than the required quantity of water is given to the crops. What will happen to that land? Overwatering makes the land saline. You know what is saline? Content of salt will be more. Salt which is there in the water will be more. Why? Because you are overwatering. Overwatering makes the land saline. You can see here, purposely I showed you this picture. You can see the salt over here and this water. This is known as saline water. Okay, so overwatering makes the land saline. Now you can see the picture over here. Dams and near the river banks. Now near the river banks, the crops which are there will not grow properly. Why? More of water. They are overwatered. The crops are overwatered. So usually, where is this saline water or saline land seen? This is seen near the dams or river banks. Now, protection of crops. How you should protect the crops, or how the farmer protects the crops. You can see here, these are the diseases. The leaves, all black dots which are there on the leaves are actually the diseases, and these are the pest attacks. In the previous session also I showed you what happens when the pest will attack. These two will damage the crops. The diseases of the crops and the pest attacks will damage the crops. Okay, so we will study in the next session what happens and what are the measures taken so that the crops are properly taken care of.